Welcome, everyone. This is a new format for me, so you're going to have to apologize. And we're just bringing Rae on now. Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to the Power of Healing Your Energy. Thank you very much for coming on and being a guest. I do appreciate it.
No, you're welcome.
And I guess tell everyone where you are. Like, I'm in Canada. Where are you?
I'm in, well, as you can tell from my accent, I'm actually in the UK. So I'm in somewhere called Kent, which is just outside of London.
Nice.
So I live in, so where I live, I'm kind of like 45 minutes by train into London and then about 15 minutes drive into the country. So I'm kind of like in a nice little space.
Yes, very, very nice. And obviously there's a bit of a time difference, and we had some issues, some technical issues, of course, right? Being empaths and all that good stuff. We like to somehow have fun with the electricity, and we couldn't hear Rae there for a bit. Now here she is. So it all worked out.
It does.
All right. So, how did you get into, the past life regression? Like, how did your journey start?
Well, basically, I've come from a really spiritual background, going to spiritist churches as a kid, with a mum and an aunt that did tarot and palmistry. So I've always been around that kind of thing. But it was always like there was, I don't know, there was, to me, there was always more to life than there was actually there. And I was quite, I'd say, a questioning child. How my mum and dad put up with me, I have no idea, because I was always going, yeah, but how does this work? But what's this? What's that? Which but they were understanding, and they answered the best they could for them. And then I actually remember watching a program when I was about 11 years old, which was, I don't know if you actually had that program actually appeared in Canada, but it was in this country called Tales of the Unexpected. So anyone from the UK who's over a certain age will remember this TV program that had a really weird tune, and it's sort of like supernatural type things. But there was one program where past life came into it, and I was really sort of like intrigued by it. Start looking around for stuff like that. But then, as all things, teenage years, boys, work, etc., get in the way. So.
Yeah.
So although I was still doing sort of like my paganism and that, it's more dabbling because I was concentrated on life. And then around about 2000, I went on a trek. I went over to Peru and I did the 4-day Inca Trail. I was over there for about 21 days. And whilst I was actually on Machu Picchu, I was standing on one of the platforms, and as I was looking down, it was only a few seconds, but I literally saw all these Incans below me, and sort of like, as I looked down at myself, I was dressed in Inca, but it only lasted a few seconds. And it was like, whoa, what's happening there? And then obviously angels came into my life, and I started working with angels. Then a friend of mine did hypnotherapy course, and she wanted to practice past life regression. So I said, yeah, I'll volunteer for you. So she took me back, and I went back to a 10-year-old child, and I experienced everything, and I actually even felt myself dying. As a 10-year-old who died, I actually felt my heart stop. But it was such an amazing experience that I kind of like started looking around. I couldn't find anyone that I really wanted to train with at that time. And it was kind of like that, even though there's past life, there's still something a little bit missing. And then eventually I found somebody to train hypnosis with, who wasn't actually doing past life, but was kind of like doing a course with it. But then the dates for that course never matched up. And then I saw Future Life Regression with Angelic, and the dates with that matched up, and they do past life regression with future life regression on it. So I actually got to do past life and future life with Angelic. So that kind of like set me onto the future and past life stuff. And they've kind of like worked in with all the other stuff I do, and they kind of like came the right time for me, because I sort of like, I've been at that crossroads in my life where I've been doing the day job, and it's like there's more to this than more to life than what I'm doing at the moment. I know I want, my purpose is to help people, to be of service, but I don't know how I'm supposed to be doing it. But sort of like going back to previous past life, because I've actually had about 300 past lives.
Goodness.
I've not explored them all, but I've been everything from a child to a woman to a priest to a priestess. You name it. I've done the whole lot. So I had quite a lot of times as a child by horses, believe it or not, which was the horse thing was really quite interesting, because years and years ago, with an ex-boyfriend, we went on a gypsy caravan trip.
Okay.
And it was one of those old-fashioned Romany caravans with the horse. And I just could not sit in the driving seat and drive the horse. I was happy to walk by with the horse, but I was still a little bit wary. And then when we took the caravan back and we were taking the horse out, if it hadn't been for the strength of my ex and the guy at the place where we got them from, I would have been squashed by that horse. How it happened, I got between the horse and the post, and literally there was no way out for me.
Oh my goodness.
So when years later, I sort of like had this, and it's kind of like I'd been killed several times in past life by horses. That kind of like clicked as why I had this. I liked horses, but I always have had this little bit fear of them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So kind of like realizing that and going, okay, that was, I'm working on that. That was in the past. That doesn't really need to affect me now. Gave me the chance when I went over to Egypt a few years, about 3-4 years ago, with the Healing Animal Organisation, and they go over to Animal Care Egypt, who are based in Luxor, who look after the animals and try to educate the Egyptians on how to look after horses. And I went over there to do Angelic Reiki, not on the animals, but on the healers, because when they work with animals, they pick up all the emotions and everything. So I was only over there doing healing on the humans, not the animals, although you can do Angelic Reiki on animals. But there was one horse there called Princess Cinderella, who was dying, but she wouldn't lay down. And after a couple of days, one of the women said to me, look, could you come do some Angelic Reiki on her? And it's like, okay, I'm doing Angelic Reiki on a horse. So I had to have, because I'd worked on the horse issue, it was like, yeah, okay, no problem. So I was able to close my eyes and actually stand with my hands on the horse with no fears that this horse is going to kill me, or anything like that. And I was able to do healing on the horse, to help it accept. And literally within 20 minutes, it laid down, and I was with it when it passed.
Oh my goodness.
And if I hadn't had worked on that past life with the horses, I would not have been able to stand there with this horse doing healing on it. So that's kind of like the past. And then the future is seeing where my life is going to be in 5 years' time. And I've actually seen my life in 5 years' time, and I will have the retreat that I'm looking for.
Nice. Okay. So I guess my question is, when you say past lives, a lot of folks figure, I mean, there's that karma piece. A lot of people figure karma is good or bad. I see it as in the middle, meaning if you don't learn your lessons, that's when you're coming back to repeat them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. I kind of like look at karma as lessons you need to learn.
Yes.
They're not bad. They're not good. They're just things you need to learn to help progress you further along. on
Yeah.
your path.
I think it's the ego that likes to make it black or white or good or bad, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then, some people feel that, if they something keeps coming up in their lives, that it's just that feeling of being stuck. And then you kind of go down the proverbial rabbit hole, and it's a lot of dark and really hard to climb and get yourself out of. The future, that's interesting. So, because a lot of people think, okay, I have a goal, and if I just, like The Secret, I just put it out there, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think people, if you're in the right frame of mind, that can work.
Okay.
Because a lot of people have had success with The Secret, but they're now saying there's actually a little bit more to it. You kind of like have to experience it and feel the emotions of it. And that's what happens when we go 5 years into the future. Because when you go 5, 10 years or to a future lifetime, when you go into that, you actually get to see what's going on, but you actually get to step into your future self. So you actually get to feel all those feelings, see what your future self is around seeing, really experience it. And you bring that experience and the energy back with you into the present, which then gives you that slight edge to actually, do you know something? I know where my future is. I know how I'm going to get there. And this is how I'm going to do it. And you actually start doing it because you've brought all that energy back and it comes into fruition because you've seen it, you've lived it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it totally does. So I guess, how do you work with someone? Is it through visualizations? Do you do vision boards? Do you keep like quarterly? Like how does that one work, I guess, when you work with someone?
Okay. Basically what I do is I take people into what I like to call a waking dream.
Okay.
So it's literally getting their body and their conscious mind to relax.
Okay.
Relax enough so their subconscious, their higher self can actually come into the fore. So kind of like think of it as if you're driving from A to B and you get to B and you think, I do not remember how I got here on this journey, but that you stopped at traffic lights, you let people cross the road. So that's kind of like a waking dream. So you're aware of what's going on around, but you're relaxed enough not to know that your conscious is doing all that stuff for you. So that's kind of like how. So you take them in, and then basically you take them through various steps into their future or their past life. But sometimes people may come to you and say, there's this past life issue that's really been, I think this is what I need to solve. But when we go to try and take them back, they can't go back, but they will go forward. And sometimes it's vice versa. So quite often what you think and where you think you need to go actually turns out as something different.
Okay.
And you go the opposite one, because that's your subconscious, your higher self coming in saying, actually, we need to, if we look at your future, that's going to resolve the issues from your past, because in your future you're not going to have those issues anymore. Or it may be, okay, you want to go into your future, but we need to clear the past life stuff because you can't go into the future till you've done it.
Okay. No, that makes sense. I'm just going to say hi to Carla.
Oh, hi, Carla.
Thanks for joining us. And hi, Vicki.
Hello,
Thank you very much. And please share with others if you're interested in future life or past life regression. You have any questions? Please ask anything. If you're feeling stuck, just ask away. You never know what would happen in a conversation. This is a safe space to do so. And if you have any fear around that, just flip it around and think of love. Think love.
Exactly.
And there's no such thing as a silly question. I think the only part that's silly is you didn't ask.
Exactly. And there are other people that are thinking the same question, and they're thinking, and then it turns out nobody asked.
That's right. That too. That too. So you could be creating a safe space for someone else that maybe doesn't feel comfortable or confident in asking. So you guys ask.
Yeah, we're
All
very
right.
easy to answer.
Yes. I guess my question is, do you now, are people put through like a visualization or a hypnosis? Like how does one go forward or back?
Okay, it's not hypnosis.
Okay.
It's kind of like a deep meditation. So
Okay.
so you get the person, so you relax the person physically and mentally, and then you take them forwards or backwards in time. Now, some people, depending on what your dominant sense is, some people will see everything as pictures. Other people will kind of like just things will come at them, sounds. Others will just have colors. People like me, I don't see a lot. I just know.
Ah, okay.
It's kind of, so if someone was to take me into a future life and they say, okay, so where are you? I would go, I probably wouldn't see it. I'd go, I'm in a wood, because
Hmm.
I've got that feeling. I know that that's where I am. But someone else will go, oh my God, I can see all these trees around me.
Mm.
There's birds, everything. So depending on your more dominant sense, that is how you will experience going into the future or the past. So
Okay.
so it's a waking dream, not hypnosis, not meditation, something in between.
Okay. So you're also talking about clairs, which I talk a lot about. We are all intuitive. We all have gifts as well. So when you're saying a clear knowing, that's
Yeah.
claircognizance, and then just a clear feeling is clairsentient, which I have. I'd say many have at least a couple out of the
Mm,
seven, if not
yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
So. Just a question. Carla is asking, I am working on abandonment issues. Any advice?
Oh, abandonment issues. If you were, that would probably be more of a past life
Mm,
thing. But it may not be what you think it is in the past life, because when you do go into past life, it could either be your past life in this lifetime or a past life in a previous lifetime.
okay.
So the abandonment issues could be this lifetime, it could be a previous life, it could be both. It could even, it could even go back ancestral and go back even further.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something you would have to explore to see where those feelings actually came from. And there's no quick answer. Yes, it was definitely this past life or this or that. You have to go and explore it.
Yeah, and I guess the hardest, the toughest part for, I think for, well, even for myself, going back is going back and sitting in that feeling and those emotions, and just trying to do the work. A lot of folks are comfortable in their comfort, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, and and when you go back, you don't have to literally go back and feel every emotion that was happening. You can go and look at it as a perspective, and then what I will do is I will then take you, and obviously unless it's in this lifetime, but if it's past lifetime, I will take you back. I'll then take you forward to your death in that lifetime and
Okay.
into the in between, so that you can actually look back on that life, see what happened, see with emotions, what you need to learn from that, and then you heal from knowing why you went through what you went through. And if it's something in this lifetime, you kind of like, we can get you to connect with your higher self to see why these issues, how you can how we can heal from them.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And Carla's just saying she thinks it's both. She feels like it's a future and a past.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and if obviously very intuitive, we tend to know these things, and it's just, I guess, getting a little bit of help getting there.
Yeah, and you know, and that's the thing. The way I work and the way I know that you work and others work, we guide people, because everyone knows the answers themselves. And what we are guides. We are guiding them on that journey, supporting them on that journey, so that they can do the healing themselves. They can make the decisions. They can actually, you know, heal their past, create their future, and transform their present. We just guide.
Yes, and that's a great, or a mentor, or however you want to look at it. And you know, it's all about that connection too, connection to self and connection to others. We're not meant to be on this earth doing everything alone.
No.
No.
No, we're all supposed to work together. You know, every light worker, every healer, every witch, you know, we're all supposed to be here working as a collective to help everybody. No one is better than anyone else. No one's modality is better than anyone else's. We are here to combine to help as many people as possible.
True enough, because of the unconditional love that's formed, really, you know, kind of takes the weight off of, you know, what's happening in the world. If we can raise the vibrations, that's, you know,
Exactly.
and support each other. We have a lady, Keisha. She is a first-time viewer from Missouri. Welcome. Thank you. Now she's asking if she wants to hear anything that you're drawn to her to help her out with. I'm not sure what exactly your question is, Keisha. This we're just exploring past lives and future as well. If you have questions about that, or about angelic Reiki, or any particular topic in regards to your spirituality, your healing journey. That's what this show is primarily about. If you're looking for one-on-one type of readings or guidance, feel free to connect with one of us after the show. Yeah. So is there anything that you're working on right now? Like, do you have, now you mentioned Anne Gersh, right?
Yeah.
I've seen her on Facebook quite a bit. What's the story with Anne? She's been a mentor of yours?
She actually trained me in future life progression.
Okay.
And basically she's kind of like the pioneer of it. I mean, she's been doing it for years, and she actually came across it by accident. You know, she's quite spiritual, she's very intuitive. Was doing cards and energy work, and obviously she's trained in hypnosis and various things. And she was actually doing past life with a couple of soldiers, and they were taking turns on each other, and they all ended up in the future together. And that's kind of like where she started playing more with future life progression. You know, and she's kind of like really taken it forward with helping people. You know, there are now business people that use it, estate agents use it, you know, because if you know, because everything you do in your present creates your future. So if you change your decisions or behaviors now, then this will create the best possible future for you. So again, with businesses, you know, if you know future trends, with estate agents, you know what house you're going to move into or how you're going to sell your current house. You can move, you know, you can move forward with that. So that's where Anne is, and she's is it 4 or 5 books she's actually released, and she's just written her 6th book, which is due to be published in February next year, which I think is more on the business side of future life progression. And she's actually been training people because obviously she can't be everywhere at the same time. So
that's right.
So I was lucky enough to be one of the people that she trained. So I can now actually train people to do future life and past life regression. And that's what I'm working on at the moment, because I'm going to be running a future life regression practitioner course on the 15th, 16th, 17th of November here in Blackheath in the UK. So it's a certified course where I will train people to become future life progression practitioners. And that's so I'm kind of really excited in that. So I'm kind of like working on that at the moment, you know, getting all the material together, you know, getting there, etc. So I'm really quite excited that I've got the opportunity to actually teach people future life progression, because it's certainly made a difference to my life, and I've seen the difference it's made to other people's lives. So yeah, that's kind of the main thing I'm working on at the moment, as well as everything else, but that's my main focus.
Wonderful, beautiful. And hey, I wish I was there. I love learning new modalities and techniques, and any way that I can tap into my future and past to help others. I mean, you're just raising the vibration here, and that's beautiful work. Chona has a question.
Mm-hmm.
She is being called to this past life regression. Do you do this work virtually? Is that something?
Yes, we can do.
Okay.
We can't do the training because training really should be one-to-one. But yeah, with their own past life and future life, I do have clients, and we do it over the internet, normally via Zoom, because you can actually record it on Zoom, so that you can actually listen to it back if you want to. So yes, it can be done virtually. You know, just that we can, you know, two people can look at each other, and I can talk you through the relaxation and take you and ask the questions you need to know when you're going back. So yeah, future life, past life can be done remotely.
Okay, beautiful. And you'll leave your links at the end of the show so people can get in touch with you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're just as interactive as I am, because people will come on after, because there are people, whatever, you know, vacationing or busy. But if you're on the replay, just comment replay, ask a question, either for Ray or myself, and we'll be happy to help and answer. And Chona, actually, she's we chat quite a bit offline and online, and she's gone through quite a bit of stuff, and she's a beautiful, powerful lady. And yeah, if she wants to work on the past life regression, that's wonderful. I applaud you on that. Very brave work. Let's see. Do we have any other questions? Keisha has popped up again. I don't know if you want to answer this, Ray, or maybe offline, but she's asking what it'll take for her family and herself to find a home and start living a somewhat normal life again. First thing I pick out of that, normal, there is no such thing.
No.
I think as a society, it's been programmed, and that's a label. And maybe the question is to live a more balanced life that is fulfilling your soul's purpose. And I'll pass this off to you, Ray. But those are my first thoughts that I picked up out of that question.
Yeah. I totally agree. Normal is just a label. You know, what is normal? You know, we are all unique, and all our lives are our own individual paths that we walk on. And even though we walk them with others, we still have our own individual paths that we need to work with. So quite often, if you've got several people, like a family, if one person actually starts doing the work themselves, then their energy changes, and when their energy changes, it has a knock-on effect on the other people. So they will then start changing without knowing why they're starting with why they're changing. And you know, and if you were to go back to a past life, it may be that you're with those people before, and you've come together again now because there's lessons you need to learn. And if you work on them now and you've learned them, then you'll all be able to move forward together onto your own paths. To complement each other. So I hope that makes sense.
And beautiful. I guess the biggest part that I picked out of that was the energy. And that's why I created this show. If you were, unfortunately, we get stuck in a dark, negative energy, then that's what we attract. Once you find that light inside of you, which we all have, it's a catalyst to jump-starting the life that you were meant to live.
Exactly.
That's how I see it. That's why I created this show, because once I made that connection, it was like I had this big gap in my energy. And I also saw it as a dark spot, but it kind of took over the rest of my body, if that makes sense, my energy. Once I figured out where that gap was, it's like a lightning rod. Boom. Everything else just, it started. And yes, you can be the leader or the champion in starting that change. People will follow because they'll see something in you. So just start with that.
Yeah, beautiful said.
And Keisha, if you have more questions, feel free to contact either one of us offline, if that makes sense. She is saying, very true. Yes, that is much better wording of my question. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. And I want to wish you love, light, blessings, and lots of positive, energy your way in your journey. And she's also, thanking us once again. Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you for asking that question.
Yes. And and being vulnerable, I love that, because that's bridging, and bridging is connection. So
exactly.
More vulnerability. Like I used to think that being perfect was everything. And obviously that was something, I know that was a past life thing. I have figured that out. Yes. And I'm sure if I would have met you like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I would have been there a lot quicker, but hey, it was meant to be, right?
Yeah. We all get there eventually, and if people are meant to help us, then they'll come in. If we're meant to sort it out ourselves, then we'll have to sort it out ourselves.
Yes, exactly. Do you do anything with dreams at all? I'm just curious. Like if someone has a dream, or do you know of someone? I mean, for me, I dream very lucid. Like I have very, very vivid dreams, and I keep a dream journal, because for that very reason, there are messages in there for myself, from my guides, my angels, my loved ones, and a lot of times for my clients. If I'm have a reading the next day, or some type of healing, many times my dream is for them.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on dreaming at all?
I have lots of dreams that I do try to write down, but I just some I do, some I don't. I really should keep a dictaphone by my bed too, actually, because I get so involved that even though I kind of like wake up, I want to go straight back into it again, because I don't want to lose it. But I think dreams can be a good way of finding solutions and gaining knowledge and insight to what's going on, because again, you're in that relaxed theta state.
Yes.
You're in that place where your subconscious, your higher self, can actually come into the fore, because it knows all the answers. It's just you accessing the knowledge and the information that's already there.
And that is very true. I used to ask a lot of questions myself, but since, keeping a dream journal, a lot of those questions, they might not come like right now, because that's what your ego wants. They tend to come later, once you've let go. A lot of times it's just about letting go, surrendering, and the answers will come.
Yeah.
Yes. Because Vicky was asking a question about a dream about her late husband, and he was trying to say something to her in her dream the other night, and she cannot remember. So for that very reason, I feel it's real important to have a dream journal. Because even if you can jot down a few pieces of that dream, it's you're programming again, but it's a good thing to recall your dreams for the next night and the night after. And even, before I go to bed, I set the intention for my guides, my angels, and my loved ones to come in and help me remember my dreams,
Yeah.
and give me messages, and just to be there. It's just part of what I do, and it's a habit if that's what you want to get into.
Yeah, and and if you still find that you're having difficulty, then there are ways of going into a future lifetime to meet a loved one in a future lifetime, to actually have a conversation with them,
Okay.
and get clear, and get clear on it. So, I've done that with people, where I've taken them into a future lifetime to meet a loved one, in the future, and connect with them again, and ask questions and gain clarity, from them. And I feel, and when I have done that, I feel really privileged, that I've been able to help them make that connection. So there are lots of ways of remembering your dreams or accessing your subconscious, whether it is through future life, past life, dream journals, Reiki, any other form. If you find it difficult to do it yourself, then there are so many things out there that can actually help you. And that.
Okay. Yeah. So, Vicky, if you're looking for help with that, definitely get in contact with Ray. If you feel, well, that's what I'm feeling is I think a conversation with Ray would be a great start. I have done mediumship readings for Vicky as well. However, yeah, I feel this would be a really good next step. Because I have a rule with mediumship readings, one a year. Otherwise, it can be, you can see it as an unhealthy attachment. Yeah.
I remember, from going to spiritualist churches when I was a kid. I mean, we went because my mum and dad we helped out, so that's why we went there. But I do remember you'd see the same people every week, trying to contact the same people, to try and get a message from them, and seeing the look on their faces when they didn't, when the medium didn't give them a message. And that which was quite sad.
It is. I get it. There's a lot of grief involved, and the broken heart, and just just having that feeling. I get it. It's tough. It's a tough one, definitely. But again, this is where you would come in to do that past life or that future life work. To finally feel that they can be at peace. I guess.
Because if you get the chance to go in and see a departed loved one, then you'll know that they're not gone forever, and they are still part of you. So you don't have to keep going every week, every few weeks. Is there enough? Are they connecting with me? Are they there? Are they there? Because when you go to a medium, they've got so many spirits that want to come in and talk, because all our departed loved ones, if they see you there, they all want to come in. It's kind of like, let me talk. So mediums can only pass on messages from so many people.
Well, that, and depending on their energy level, if they're very quiet, that means I have to raise my vibration by 80% if they're only operating at a 20%.
Wow.
Or the opposite, you have your auntie who's like got the biggest personality in the world, and she's number one. So guess who's going to be talking first?
Yeah.
That's how, and I do not control it. I don't control anything. Ego is out the door. I just, whatever they say, that's what I spit out. And you know what? A lot of times it's not what you want to hear, but actually it is. That there's a reason they came through. So, and it's all about trusting the process and just letting go. It took a long time for me because would love to control everything. So I've learned a lot of stuff just being a medium and a spiritual guide as well. So
I've learned as well. I was sort of, the analytical mind, and I was always quite control in this. But I've learned through doing in this in my own journey to let that control go. And that what happens.
exactly. And just to be present in each moment and not looking so far ahead, and definitely not looking in the past.
No. The only reason you go into the past is to heal from it. That's the only reason you would go into the past. And the reason you go into the future is so you know where things are going, so you can make changes now. And that's really you know why you should be going into the future, and you should be going into the past, not for any other reasons. Although, I did have someone who wanted to experience a past life, but they didn't want to any issues, so they just wanted to go back to a past life to see where they were happy. So
Okay.
took them back to a past life where they were really happy, and they were in America. It was the typical Western type style house with the white picket fence.
Okay. Yeah.
But they were so happy there. When they came back, actually, they brought that energy with them, and they were a lot happier.
Oh, that's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. Having that, to carry that energy with you that's great. That's wonderful. So, it doesn't look like I have any other questions. I thought maybe I'd try and wrap this up if somebody had any other last minute questions, or if you're on the replay, mention replay and put your question in, and for Rae or for myself, and we will get back to you. Is there anything you'd like to leave, I guess, for everyone here? Any final words? Or maybe just a little bit about how to get a hold of you?
It is really try and live in the present, because if you're in the here and now, you can accomplish a lot more things than worrying about the past or the future. But if you do want to get hold of me, you can visit my website, www.radiantangelenergy.co.uk. You can contact me on my Facebook page, Radiant Angel Energy. And I do offer a free 20 to 30-minute call to discuss whether I can help you and give you more information on what I do, and you can decide if you do want to work with me or you don't want to work with me. And yes, I can do it remotely or in person. And of course, if you want to train as a future life progression practitioner, and you're in this country in November, then please look at coming to the coming to do the training with me. And I think a colleague of mine who's actually going to be on my show later, she's actually going to be over in Canada, I do believe, actually running a training course later on this year.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
Over there. And I'm always, if someone wants to set it up, I'm always quite happy to travel to another country. I like traveling. I guess I trek around Peru and Mexico and
nice. Oh, Mexico, yes.
So I like traveling.
Me too. I'd love, hey, if I can make it happen, you never know, I might just be part of that future life progression training. So
that'd be brilliant.
I've never been to England, so that would be lovely. Definitely. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you once again for joining me and being on the show. It was an absolute pleasure. And like I had mentioned, if you're looking to get a hold of Rae or myself, we will leave contacts as well. If you'd like some future life training in person, feel free to reach out. If you're on the replay, reach out as well. And this show was all about the power of healing your energy. And I want to thank everyone. I'm sending love, light, and blessings. And please remember, healing begins where the ego ends. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.